You're listening to WTUR 89.7 FM, Upland, Indiana. I'm Josh Johnson, and this is a segment we like to call Getting to Know You, the Student Body President Candidates. We're down to the final two, and I'm here today with sophomore Mike Henry. Mike, thanks for joining us.
Nice to be here.
We just came off the debates on Monday. How do you feel that went?
It's great to see everybody. It's great to hear their opinions. It's great to see that students are actually interested in the policy. And, people's platforms, what is, it's getting down to the nitty-gritty. What do students want to hear? What are they concerned about? Getting to know all that. My part in the whole thing, I thought it went well overall. I didn't get to say everything I wanted to, of course,
right.
But, I got a lot of it in, and I felt like it went really well.
Now, I wasn't there. I was listening in the studio. Was there a pretty good turnout?
There was. The union was pretty full. I don't know how many people that would fit. Maybe 200 or so.
Okay, so there were quite a few people.
Yeah, we had a good crowd.
All right, that's good. That's always good to see some students out there.
Right.
Now, you've said that you didn't get to say everything you wanted to say. Maybe that'll come on this coming Monday. Who knows?
Hopefully.
Did you feel like the questions obviously are going to be all over the place? Were there ones you would have liked to hear, or did you set yourself up for some answers going into the debate, or?
Yes and no. I was curious what the other candidates were going to talk about. I was curious what the questions were going to be. You go in there with no prior knowledge,
right?
And I had listened to last year's debates, so
okay.
I kind of knew what was coming, but I didn't really know.
All right, so you had a vague idea.
Yeah.
Did you practice with people beforehand?
I did. Yeah, and getting to know. This is what I actually need to say to get my message across.
Okay.
We're talking all about openness. You've heard lots of that.
Absolutely.
Transparency, accessibility in student government. Connecting with the students, and it's important that message gets across.
Okay. Now, if you look at your whole election process so far, what would you say the most difficult part of it has been, or the largest challenge?
It's a lot of time. Running for student body president is just 2 weeks of your life. Here we go. And I knew that coming in. I had talked with some people that had run in the past. I had talked with some people who had seen what happened to the people that ran in the past, and the impact that has on your life for 3 weeks, 2 weeks. Depends if you make it past primaries, I guess. And so I was kind of mentally gearing up for that, but I didn't necessarily realize coming in that it would be such a time commitment. And that's okay.
Right.
But it's just, wow, that's a lot of time.
Now, what helped you the most through this? Was it, do you have to make sure to get enough sleep every night, or balancing your time? What was it?
I've in the past I've kept a calendar. I keep a calendar. You can check it out on my website, MikeSHenry.com.
If you click on schedule or whatever,
schedule. It's right there.
It's pretty full.
It's very full right now. And I've kept a calendar for about the past 9 months consistently. It's never been that full before.
Right.
And so that's a big help in just saying we need to deal with these issues today. We have to look into these concerns. Let's make it happen.
Okay.
Getting sleep is important too,
Absolutely.
You talked about that, and if you don't get sleep, you're just kind of the next day, and that's certainly an impact.
Right. That can affect your mood, and then
right.
If you're snobby to someone, they're like, there goes your vote, Mike. And
right. Mike's on his 5th cup of coffee.
Right.
Today. That's not the impression you want to leave,
That's right. Now, what would you say the best part of the election so far has been? What's been the most fun for you to do?
Yeah. My entire campaign, talking about openness, accessibility, we've got the website, but a huge part of my campaign is getting out and talking to students.
Okay.
I've been to every floor on campus, almost every table in the DC at some point or another, and I love talking to students and hearing what they're concerned about, because there's such a wide variety of what students are interested in and what they're concerned about and what issues they have. And so, consequently, there's a wide variety of issues that I'm hoping to tackle next year. You look under the other issues section on my website, and there's everything.
That's right.
So it's been a lot of fun to talk to students. It's been interesting to hear what students are actually interested in, because I feel like often student government will do something which will affect a bunch of students, and a lot of students will appreciate that, but they might be ignoring another segment of campus that would appreciate something else more. And so I'm just gauging student opinion as well as I can, in the hope that I can actually do what students care about.
Right. Right now, do you feel like you can gauge that? Do you feel like you have a good gauge on it?
A good sense of
Yeah.
where students are?
Yeah.
Yes. I mean, obviously, I've gotten a lot of input through the website. There's that contact button. We get input through there daily. I've talked to a lot of students, which is essential. I mean, I won't necessarily have time for that as student body president, and student body presidents in the past haven't had time to interact with students as much as they've liked. But yeah, it's important to do that now so that I can get a gauge of where we are and where we need to go in the next year. So,
all right, now let's say at the end of, let's say you're elected student body president. At the end of this, what is just one thing, if you could come out with one thing that you want in mind, a goal that you have going into this, what one thing would you like to accomplish?
What's the legacy of this SBP?
Right.
I feel like that's essential, and I've talked to Ashley Rubenstein, I've talked to Zach, past candidates, and met with a lot of people, and they're all like, okay, when you run, you have to have some sort of big vision, you have to have a legacy, you have to have this, because otherwise you won't get elected. It might not get accomplished, and in a lot of cases it isn't, but you have to have that big picture. And my big picture is small things. It's making tangible differences in the lives of Taylor students. Making the Taylor experience the best that we can. Whether that be adjusting the email system or talking to IT about bandwidth. I just met with them 2 days ago and said, what are we doing? What are we waiting on? What's holding this up? Because it really is a student concern, and they've recognized that. Mm-hmm. They've seen that for a while. Yeah. That other schools of our size have more bandwidth than we do because of concerns. Mm-hmm. And so it's coming.
Okay.
And that's important to tell
students.
It's
on its way.
It's on
expensive,
its way.
But it's on its way.
Right. And there's some other things. There's new technology coming about. There's technology coming to this area for the first time that'll make that more cost effective for us to raise speeds. So we'll see that coming. We'll see all sorts of issues start to be dealt with, I hope.
Okay.